Sabr Daily.
Assalamu alaykum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and blessings of Allah be upon you, dear brothers and sisters. Welcome to this channel. Before we begin, let us take a moment together to supplicate to the Lord. O Allah, open our hearts to the understanding of your word, guide us to what pleases you, and make this moment a sincere reminder for each of us. Amen. There are encounters that the mind doesn't immediately grasp, but that the heart recognizes without hesitation. No need for long words or 1,000 questions. The connection is made in silence, in a glance, in a peace that arrives even before the conversation begins. Before going any further, if this kind of reminder resonates with you, please subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you don't miss any future reminders like this one. It helps me tremendously to continue this work and reach even more hearts. And now, ask yourself this question honestly before you continue watching. Have you ever met someone who, without a word, changed something within you? Stay until the end of this video, because the 7 signs you're about to discover may finally help you understand what you've experienced, or recognize what's yet to come. Have you ever met someone whose mere presence soothed something within you, without a single word being spoken? This peace doesn't come from any particular charisma, nor from a carefully cultivated attitude. It comes from a soul that has already silently endured its own trials, and now carries, without even intending to, a tranquility that it transmits simply by being present. According to Surah Ar-Ra'd, the Lord reminds us that it is through the remembrance of Allah that hearts find true peace. This inner peace, when it dwells within a sincere believer, naturally radiates around him, touching those he encounters even without logical explanation. In a hadith narrated by Imam Bukhari, the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, described the companions as lamps of guidance, people whose mere presence reminded others of the straight path. This image perfectly illustrates this type of person who needs no words to convey an inner light perceptible to all. And according to Surah Al-Fath, the Lord describes sincere believers as merciful to one another, bearing a gentleness that softens the hardest hearts and calms the most tense environments, simply by their way of being. This ability to soothe is not a talent acquired through personal effort. It is a gift entrusted by Allah to certain hearts, purified by trials endured in silence, by nights when no one saw their tears, by the trust placed in Allah when all control seemed lost. If you have ever felt this peace in someone's presence, or if you feel that your own presence soothes those around you, know that this is not insignificant. It is a sign that you have been chosen to be a refuge, a respite from the world's turmoil, like those whom Allah places on the path of weary hearts. There are encounters that require no explanation. They demand silence. For what happens then transcends logic, transcends appearances, transcends even time. When a sincere heart meets another sincere heart, it is never a first encounter. It is a recognition. Have you ever looked into someone's eyes and felt that person was already part of your story, without even knowing them? Have you ever felt like you were continuing a conversation that had never truly begun? This phenomenon is not a coincidence. It's a connection that the heart perceives before the mind can even comprehend it. According to Surah Al-Hujurat, the Lord reminds us that He created men into peoples and tribes so that they would recognize one another, a recognition that goes far beyond blood ties to also touch the deep affinities of the soul and of faith. In a hadith narrated by Imam Abu Dawud, the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, taught that souls are like assembled soldiers, those that are alike naturally unite, while those that are different separate just as naturally. This hadith directly illuminates the feeling of immediate familiarity that certain encounters evoke, without any apparent connection or shared history. And according to Surah Al-Anfal, it is recalled that the Lord united the hearts of the believers together, a union that no earthly wealth could have accomplished by itself, thus revealing the spiritual and not material nature of this type of bond. These encounters often occur during times of transition, pain, or important decisions, as if heaven were placing the right person precisely when the heart needed them most. No effort is required to create this connection, it arises naturally, without pressure or calculation. If you have ever experienced this form of immediate recognition with someone, understand that this connection didn't begin that day. It was simply rekindled, revealing a spiritual kinship far older than the encounter itself. There are pains that cannot be shared with anyone. Inner wounds, silent, difficult to express even in prayer. In these moments, even supplication seems burdensome, and only the heart speaks, without words, in the deepest secrecy. But Allah hears. And when the answer comes, it doesn't always take the form of a visible miracle. Sometimes, it takes the form of a person. Someone who arrives unexpectedly, on a day when no one notices your inner struggle, a moment when the world keeps turning while you, inside, are frozen. According to Surah Al-Baqarah, the Lord reminds us that He is near and that He answers the supplication of the one who calls upon Him, a promise which sometimes manifests itself unexpectedly, through a human presence sent at the precise moment when it is needed. In a hadith narrated by Imam Muslim, the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, taught that Allah helps His servant as long as he helps his brother, thus revealing that some people become, without even knowing it, the instrument by which Allah responds to a silent pain. And according to Surah Ash-Shar, it is recalled that after every difficulty comes relief, a promise repeated twice in this passage to emphasize its absolute certainty, even when this relief takes a form that the heart did not expect. This person may not need to know the details of your suffering. Their mind already understands what yours is going through. They impose nothing, judge nothing, simply listen, and their very silence becomes a form of healing, a confirmation that you are not alone. If such an encounter has ever happened to you, know that it was not a coincidence. It was Allah responding, through a face, a voice, a human presence bearing divine mercy. Some encounters last for years. Others last only minutes. But time never truly defines the impact a presence can have on an entire life. Some souls cross our path briefly, accomplish exactly what they were sent to do, and then fade away, leaving behind something indelible. It's not a question of duration, but of purpose. Some people come and stay. Others come, accomplish their mission, then leave. A simple word, a precise gesture, a shared moment of truth, and something within you realigns permanently, even if the exchange lasted only a moment. According to Surah An-Nisa, the Lord reminds us of the importance of providing assistance and kindness to our neighbor, a teaching that never specifies a minimum duration for an act of kindness to produce a lasting and profound effect in the heart of the one who receives it. In a hadith narrated by Imam Bukhari, the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, taught that a simple kind word is considered charity, revealing that even the briefest exchange, if sincere, carries immense value in the eyes of Allah. And according to Surah Al-Kahf, it is recalled the meeting between Moses and a pious servant of Allah, a meeting marked by profound teachings transmitted in a relatively short time, but whose impact still crosses centuries today through this Quranic narrative. This is how certain souls chosen by Allah function. They do not need to stay long, they simply need to be in the right place at the right time, saying what they were sent to say. Like a seed planted in fertile soil, the effect is not immediately visible, but with time, the fruits appear, revealing that a brief presence had in fact planted something eternal. Some souls chosen by Allah do not come to please. They come to reveal. Not with harshness, but with firm and sincere love. These are the ones who, even with calm words, place you face to face with a truth you were avoiding looking at, not to humiliate you, but to liberate you. They don't expose, they illuminate. They use truth like a mirror, never as a weapon. They show what needs to change, what remains hidden, what has been distorted over time. And despite the discomfort you feel, something inside you immediately recognizes, that's exactly what I needed to hear. According to Surah Al-Asr, the Lord reminds us of the importance of reminding each other of truth and patience, a teaching that places benevolent confrontation at the very heart of brotherhood between sincere believers. In a hadith narrated by Imam Muslim, the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, taught that religion is sincerity and mutual advice, a definition which necessarily includes the courage to speak a difficult truth when it truly comes from the heart and not from a desire to hurt. And according to Surah At-Tawbah, it is recalled that sincere believers enjoin good upon one another and remind one another of what is right, a reminder which, even if uncomfortable at the time, always leads to true inner renewal. Those who confront with such sincerity never seek to break, but to restore. Their words carry weight, but they also bring profound relief once the initial resistance is overcome. If someone's words have ever shaken you to the point of helping you grow, they were probably spoken by a chosen soul, sent to help you realign with your own truth, not to condemn you. Time, hurt, and accumulated disappointment sometimes make us forget who we truly are. We forget our worth, the strength within us, the light that once shone effortlessly. Life gently extinguishes parts of us without us even realizing it. Until someone else appears. This person isn't here to transform you into someone new. They're here to reconnect you with who you've always been, before the world molded you according to its own expectations. They see beyond the masks, the fears, the defense mechanisms accumulated over the years, and when they speak to you, it's as if they're speaking directly to your soul. According to Surah Ar-Rum, the Lord reminds us that every human being is born with a natural disposition oriented towards faith and righteousness, a pure essence that life's circumstances can cover, but never totally erase. In a hadith narrated by Imam Bukhari, the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, taught that every child is born with this innate, natural disposition, and that it is the surrounding circumstances that sometimes distance them from this original purity. This saying reminds us that a sincere person can help you rediscover this essence buried beneath accumulated hardships. And according to Surah Al-Hijr, it is recalled that Allah breathed from His Spirit into every human being at the time of their creation, a noble origin that no one can truly erase, even after many years away from this inner truth. When you truly feel seen by someone, not for what you possess, but for who you truly are, it heals and strengthens something deep within you. If someone has ever offered you this feeling of being recognized in your purest essence, know that it was far more than a simple conversation. It was a silent rescue, wisely orchestrated by the one who knows what lies at the bottom of every heart. There are times when solitude seems unbearable, when the silence becomes almost deafening. The first instinct is often to flee this empty space by filling it with distractions, new encounters, and endless tasks. But no distraction lasts forever. Sooner or later, the silence returns, and with it, an invitation to finally listen to yourself. This isolation is not a punishment. It is a preparation. The outside world temporarily fades away so that you can hear the only voice that truly matters at this precise moment, your own, purified of the noise accumulated over time. According to Surah Al-Muzammil, the Lord speaks of the special value of nighttime retreat for meditation and worship, a time when the soul, freed from the distractions of the day, can truly refocus on what is essential with sincerity and depth. In a hadith narrated by Imam Bukhari, it is reported that the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, regularly retreated to the cave of Hira before the revelation, seeking solitude and reflection away from the commotion of his people, a period of silent preparation before a major transformation of his mission. And according to Surah Ad-Duha, the Lord reassures his prophet after a period of silence perceived as abandonment, reminding him that this silence was in reality only a preparation, never a true abandonment. It is precisely in this space of solitude that the clearest intuitions and the firmest certainties often arise. An inner wisdom, long buried beneath the noise of the world, begins to guide your every step, slowly but surely. And when, later, a chosen soul crosses your path, your heart, now purified by this silence, will recognize it immediately. If this video touched your heart, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications to stay connected for every new reminder. Also, take a moment to like the video, it helps this community grow tremendously. And if you want to share what you're feeling right now, write "God is great" in the comments so that other hearts can see your testimony and feel inspired in turn. Finally, if you wish to continue nourishing your soul, click now on the video that just appeared on the screen. May Allah keep you, protect you, and grant you peace of heart until our next meeting.